Located on 225 acres in Garden City, Long Island, Nassau Community College, a member of the State University of New York system, has close to 20,000 students attend the school each year. The college mascot is Leo the Lion, and these are his stories of the school's absolute best and brightest who have graduated over the past 50 plus years. So let's catch up together as the Alumni Association of Nassau Community College proudly presents Lion Tales on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Welcome to Lion Tales, powered by the Nassau Community College Foundation. My name is Aurora Workman. I am the president of the Alumni Association of Nassau Community College. I'm here with my friend and co-host, Dr. Lynnda Nadien, a proud graduate of Nassau Community College, and together we'll share stories that will inspire, uplift, and often amuse you.
Each week, Aurora and I will introduce you to alumni of Nassau Community College interested in sharing their experience here at Nassau Community College, along with the secrets to their success.
Look for many
new and exciting events on the Alumni Association social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, and our web pages at www.nassaucommunitycollege.edu/alumni. If you, our listening audience, has any positive news you would like to share about Nassau Community College, engagements, births, graduations, weddings, and or accolades, email us at alumni@nassaucommunitycollege.edu and we will shout you out.
Today's guest is Adelina Blanco-Harvey, affectionately known as Addie, and has lived in Uniondale community for over 35 years. Addie is a proud graduate of Nassau Community College and serves as a public relations coordinator and office manager for over 17 years. She's an advocate for children, serves as a mentor, and is a member of the Comite Civico Salvadoreno for the past 9 years. Welcome to Lion Tales, Addie Blanco-Harvey, class of 2006. And will you please tell us of your membership of the Civico so that we know that we have said to the world, said it right?
Good morning, and thank you for having me as your guest. Comite Civico Salvadoreno was funded in 1997 by my mother, and she did so to help out the Salvadoran community, both in the United States and in El Salvador.
That's
so
wonderful.
amazing.
That is. Mm-hmm. So, Addie, tell us about your decision to attend Nassau Community College.
So, I first went to Nassau Community College right out of high school, and I attended for a year and got married and put it on hold. And a couple of years later, almost 10 years later, I decided that I wanted to go back. I wanted to make something of myself. And I started out as part-time because by then I was already, married with 2 children. Mm-hmm. And it was the best decision that I made, actually. It was very convenient for me because I live right here in Uniondale, and the classes were great, and the experience was wonderful.
Okay. So what were some of your favorite courses?
I love literature a lot. So I took a lot of courses with Dr. Jenkins.
Yes, everyone has Dr.
That's my mentor, my favorite professor.
Our favorite.
Yes, Dr. Jenkins, and then also Dr. Lehman.
Yeah.
He did the literature classes, and a lot of his work went into most of the Disney tales, which was, The Little Mermaid, mm-hmm. and telling us what it really meant. And even though it's a children's book, there's more meaning to it. Or Little Red Riding Hood, Edgar Allan Poe, which I actually love a lot of his work, and it was a great experience. Those were my 2 favorite professors.
Wow. And so then upon graduating from Nassau Community College, what were some of your plans for higher ed, and how did Nassau assist you in moving toward the next level of the educational pursuit?
So when I started, my goal was to get into the nursing program, because that's what I thought I wanted to do. And one of my first classes that I took in preparation for that was the an adolescence class, and it was learning about children. And I was given an assignment where I had to go into a classroom and observe children and pick one child out and talk about that child in a paper. Mm-hmm. And I asked for permission. I went to California Avenue School. I did my observation, and in writing my paper, I found that I didn't want to be a nurse. I wanted to be an educator. And I changed my major, and I said, I'm going to be a teacher. Wow. And that's what, it was like, I got like a happiness in my heart, I call it. It was like, this is what I'm meant to do. Serve children. And then that's how I started. Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing how, now a lot of the universities and colleges are allowing people to come in and do observations earlier in their educational career so that they can kind of say, this is for me or this is not. So it's amazing that the one assignment really led you down the path of continuing. And that's really just an amazing aspect of that.
Yes, yes.
And so that was really when you realized, what your passions were for teaching. And then when you left Nassau, you attended SUNY Old Westbury?
Yes, when I left Nassau, I went to SUNY Old Westbury. I was, just going to be a general ed teacher. I said kindergarten to sixth grade, and there was a need, and they had a bilingual program there, and they, one of the professors says, you're so fluent in Spanish. Why don't you give this test a try? Maybe you can do bilingual and, general education. And I said, okay, I don't think my Spanish is that great, but I'll give it a try, And I did, and I was on the top of, that class. When I did the test, I got the highest score, and I learned something about myself. I learned that I was very fluent in Spanish, not only in speaking it, but also reading and writing. Yes. And I never fully gave myself credit for that.
I know we were always just saying that before, that you never really have the confidence built up, but then after you say, "Wow, I really was good at that."
Yes, yes.
And all it takes is having that epiphany to understand that. Wow, this is good. You're listening to. We'll be right back with you, Addie. You're listening to Lion Tales on the Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I am Aurora Workman, along with Dr. Lynnda Nadien, and our guest today is Adelina Blanco-Harvey, a children's advocate, school board trustee, public relations coordinator, and a proud alum of Nassau Community College. So, Addie, we were talking about how, you have these epiphanies in terms of our own strengths. And how you realize that, I'm really good at something.
Absolutely.
Yes. So then, while I was at Nassau, I was very involved in a lot of the activities that went, along with that. I went to some dances that they had, and I really enjoyed the process. And then when I moved on to SUNY, and in deciding what I was going to, finish doing, I was one of those people that I was like, well, I'm already doing bilingual. Special ed is just a few more courses, and that's how I ended up with the 1 to 6th grade childhood education, bilingual, and special ed extension. So it's been amazing. And although I'm not currently teaching, I do teaching for a district. I should say. I still use what I've learned at Nassau and at SUNY Old Westbury in everyday activities that I do.
That's wonderful.
And so then when you were at Nassau, tell us some of the clubs that you may have been involved in, and, sort of like, how did it build up your confidence level in terms of then moving toward the next level at SUNY? Did you feel that you had the foundation then to move toward that next degree?
Yes. So I enjoyed a lot of time in the library.
Oh.
I did a lot of reading and research because some of the courses that I was taking required lengthy papers because I did do a lot of English courses and African American Studies courses. I really just enjoyed that. I wasn't so good at math, so I was always getting extra help for math because math is just not my thing, and I learned that.
Well, it's wonderful that they have the tutor, the labs that we have here at Nassau that can help.
I think, too, that with something, it's always sort of like whatever our foundation was, like when we were younger, the way that math was approached, I think with a lot of young girls and women, that it may not have been sort of the subject for girls, where now we're promoting girls to go into math and science and technology. And I think that when I was younger, I always felt kind of like, well, that's like a boys' subject, and I never really felt that I had such good math teachers. But then when I was older and I was in more advanced programs, then I thought, wow, now I kind of understand it a little bit better. And it gave me back my confidence that was taken away, I guess, when I was, younger and not really understanding it as much.
Yes, definitely. For me, I think I did better from, elementary, middle school, and high school in math than when I moved up in college. And, I made a very big mistake in taking a statistics class thinking it was going to be easy.
Oh, you made the same mistake I did.
Me too. I remember, I think his name was, oh God, I can't remember his name. I can see him from afar.
Yes,
but
me too. Tall,
like a guy with glasses.
Yes, with glasses. Yes,
we probably could have been in the same class.
We probably had the same one.
And I just thought to myself, no, I can't do this. But then it's funny because in the doctoral program, I had a female statistics teacher, and all of a sudden, somehow my mind opened up a little bit, and I actually became better at it, which I think is so funny. I think it does depend also on the instructor and how they approach it, and not to make everybody feel intimidated by it. Because
I was always very intimidated by math, so I always looked for the easy courses. I actually took a very good course at Nassau that I loved. It was a science class that had to do with nature on Long Island. And the professor took us to Mill Pond, and we would, observe the birds, the different types of birds, and when they come in and when they fly out. And I remember we went to a beach and we were collecting specimens. We got some crabs, and I loved that class. I wish I could remember his name.
Was it Dr. O'Brien?
It was probably him, yes. But
because they took us to Wantagh one time to get these samples on this kind of barge.
He had rubber boots on. I remember he went into the water and he was picking everything out of the water.
Yes. And then too,
I can see him, but I can't remember his name.
Was that he would take us to some of the reserves we have and beautiful places that I never knew existed until I took that class.
It's amazing.
And I took so much out of that, to the point where I still go to Mill Pond and I take my little loaf of bread and feed the ducks and sometimes geese are there and swans and
Hold that thought for 1 second. You are listening to Lion Tales. Today's guest is Addie Blanco-Harvey. She has lived in Uniondale for more than 35 years and earned her associate's degree from Nassau Community College and went on to earn a BS degree in childhood elementary education with a bilingual extension and special ed extension. Addie is a proud alum of Nassau Community College. My name is Lynnda Nadien, along with Aurora Workman on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
If your skin could talk, would you listen?
As your skin, I forgive you. I forgive you for damaging me before prom, on spring break, and at tanning salons. But if you continue to tan, I hope you can forgive me. Forgive me when I start developing wrinkles and age spots. Forgive me if I develop melanoma when you're only 22.
Protect your skin from the second most common cancer in young women 15 to 29 years old. Learn more at spotskincancer.org. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Welcome back to Lion Tales, powered by the Nassau Community College Foundation, on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm your host, Dr. Lynnda Nadien, along with Aurora Workman, and our guest today is Adelina Blanco-Harvey, who currently serves as a school board trustee and a public relations coordinator. So tell us a little bit about being voted onto the school board at Uniondale Public Schools and the work that you're doing as a trustee.
Well, being active in the community, I think for me it was just the next step. I was on PTA for over 24 years, and I knew that we were losing, some of the members that had served on our board for a long time that were working, for the betterment of our community.
Right.
And I believe that a school board should be representative of the community it's serving, and that's really what made me want to do it, because I want to make sure that our district has continuity, and some of the programs that have been put in place that are serving our children continue to be there for them.
Yeah, what are some of the important things that school boards look at for school districts?
So there's a lot of finances that we look at, how funds are being spent. We currently are doing a bond to update a lot of our schools, because we're pretty much very full. So, yes. And we have new enrollees coming in all the time. So a few years back, I sat on the committee to decide what we were going to do and how we were going to move forward. And we're already in the beginning stages of starting the building process. So for me, it was important to be, an active voice. Yes, so that I'm assuring that we're doing what was promised to the community.
Right. And I think, we have such a great love for the community at large. I mean, it's really a beautiful place to live and go to school and to be part of the working environment there too. And I know that, for so many years, the board, created policies and really wanted to make that difference. And they have done that, because now with the bond being passed and starting the building, especially at the high school where it's so important, that 9 to 12 piece is so critical. Yes. That for those students there, I can't wait to see how beautiful it will look, and also what we can offer the students in terms of their coursework and making sure that they're all going into college right away. So it's really exciting.
Yes. Yes, and going back to me being at Nassau and taking that nature class, I have to tell you that the fact that I had children and young children, I had a teenager at the time and an almost teenager, as they call it. And whenever I had assignments, I would bring them with me. I would bring them to the library. I would bring them to Mill Pond, and I will say, this is what I have to do for my class. And I think that aspect of it and everything else that the school district was doing in conjunction with Nassau Community College, because we were doing the college prep program, and both of my children were in it. And that allowed them to say, look, I'm going to college right out of high school.
Yeah.
And they stuck with it. And, you know, that's something that we're doing as a community, and Nassau is working with us in educating our children to, you know, to not only be able to go to college, but to afford it.
Right, exactly. And it's such an amazing place to explore that beginning of your career as a student. And I think that, you know, for all of us and all of the people that we've interviewed for the show said the same thing. Many people were unsure what they would do, that Nassau gave them their footing back where they were a little bit unsure of what they would do. And some people were sure of what they wanted in their career. And then when they did come to Nassau, they were able to really have a strong foundation in liberal arts. Then they moved to the next level, and they're so appreciative of what they had learned here. So I think that that's just a testament to what the college offers. And you know, now
definitely.
You're working, you know, with the public at large. What do you find to be sort of the biggest obstacle as a trustee, and you're listening to people coming to the podium or speaking about things? How do you put all of it into context so that it kind of makes sense, so that we can make sure that everything is really revolving around our students?
Well, I think that sometimes, you know, there are things that we would like to answer to that we're not at liberty to say. And, you know, sometimes people misunderstand us not saying something. They don't understand that there's a reason why we can't say it. But that doesn't mean that we're not working on being an effective board. You know, we happen to have a good set of members.
Yes.
And we're all, you know, working people that are donating our time.
Right.
And sometimes people think that we're getting paid, and and then you have to kind of correct them and say, no, actually, I went to work today, and then I do this.
Yeah.
Volunteerism is really important for most people to understand. You're listening to Lion Tales on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. My name is Aurora Workman, along with Dr. Lynnda Nadien, and our guest today is Addie Blanco-Harvey, a mother, a teacher, a school board member, and a proud alum of Nassau Community College. So, Addie, we were just talking about volunteerism and, you know, the time and amount that you spend as a school board member in order to relay the community's needs and wants to the district. And so we you know, it's thankful that people who do spend that time as volunteers on school boards or any boards, they have to understand the aspect that, no, you are not being paid and you're spending countless hours, you know, trying to achieve the best for the students of a community. So what other things do you do?
So currently I am a public relations coordinator for Premier Endodontics of Long Island. It's a root canal specialty practice, and we have 3 offices that, you know, I manage, and I make sure that the marketing that we're doing is effective, so that we're always growing. But I work with excellent doctors that are very supportive. And I've been there for almost 18 years. So they saw me through, you know, when I decided to go back to school. And Dr. Granger was very supportive when I decided, because originally when I started there, it was just Dr. Granger as the owner of the practice. And eventually with growth and marketing, we became what we are now. We have 3 partners now, and we have 3 offices, and we're going to open a 4th office. So I pretty much keep myself very busy.
Yes.
So if you ever need a root canal, you know who to call.
And both of your daughters they're graduating, correct? They're already, one is graduating from college and one is in the process now?
One already graduated. Stephanie already graduated. She actually went to Nassau for a year, and then she took a break. And then when she went back to Malloy. And then she switched, and now she's an entrepreneur.
Great, yeah.
But my second daughter, she went to John Jay. and she's currently at Lehman. She's earning her master's in social work.
Okay.
And she too, took advantage of the college prep program that the district got through Nassau Community College.
Yeah, it's just amazing because it really sets them, on the right path. And right now you're a mother, a teacher, a school board member, and you're doing all of these things. So how do you feel that we can be the best advocates for children and families in our community?
Well, we have to set examples. We have to set a good example for them. And I always felt, growing up that I admired some of my teachers and what they taught me and the time that they took, to teach me.
Yes.
But I remember a lot of my teachers, actually. I remember my first teacher, because I wasn't born here. The first teacher that I had when I came from El Salvador was Miss Rubenstein.
Okay.
And she was a second grade teacher at Northern Parkway. And when my little one at the time was Cynthia, went to go to Cal Ave, she was working there. And she recognized me. She's like, Adelina. And I was like, oh my God, you're still working?
And she probably was like 40 years old.
So I was taken aback. And she's like, actually, I'm retiring next year. And I said, oh. And then I had to, just say to her, thank you. I love being in your class.
Right.
And
that's so great.
you always, have something to be thankful for. So kids are watching.
Absolutely.
And they learn sometimes just by our actions.
Yeah, and they really, it's there's such like a great love, and they really need us. And I always say to the teachers, they're looking at you because you are their role model, and they really, really love you. And so we always want to be positive and encourage them to, have everything in life, because I really believe that coming from our backgrounds, Aurora and I always say, we had adversity, but we made it through, and the same as you have done, and that's why it's a testament to what can be done.
And it's wonderful because we get embraced by our teachers, our faculty, and those who help at the schools. And so I thank God that there are people like yourself that are being advocates for children where some parents don't know how to advocate.
Yes.
Right. And that me being on the board, or being in PTA, when I was doing PTA, I would always say, the Hispanic culture is very different than the American culture. And the people that are coming here have to, make changes in their thinking, because they're coming from a country where there may not even be a PTA.
Right.
They're coming from a country where, parents aren't involved because they use different measures of discipline. So, teachers are allowed to discipline the children.
Right.
And the only time parents are called is when, a child can't be disciplined. So here it's very different. So I always say, we have to train them. We have to teach them that they're here now. So this is a choice they made, and they have to be, doing things in the best interest of their children.
Well, so, thank you so much.
Process.
Yes. So we'd like to thank our guest, Addie Blanco-Harvey, a mentor, a school board member, a parent, an advocate for our communities, and a proud graduate of Nassau Community College. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Yes.
Oh, same here. Thank you for having me. Please keep in touch and let me know if you're having events. I will be more than happy to attend.
Absolutely. We want to thank you for being with us. My name is Dr. Lynnda Nadien, along with my fabulous friend Aurora Workman, president of the Nassau Community College Alumni Association. This show is a production of the Nassau Community College Alumni Association. Visit nassaucommunitycollege.edu/WHPC for more information. Available as a podcast on iTunes, Android Podcasts, and Spreaker. Lion Tales is powered by the Nassau Community College Foundation on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. We'll talk to you next week.